The small office buzzed with the typical morning energy of a nonprofit organization. But today, there was an undercurrent of tension in the air. I could feel it as I walked past Jamie's desk. Her eyes bore into me, filled with a mix of disbelief and resentment. She never saw this coming. Just weeks ago, Jamie would have been dismissive and rude, dismissing my suggestions with a wave. But now, the tables had turned. I had been promoted, placing me above her, and what happened next would change the dynamics between us forever. It was all about to come to a head. With each step closer to my new office, a sense of achievement mixed with the thrill of anticipation washed over me. This promotion was more than just a step up. It was a chance to subtly regain my dignity from Jamie's condescending clutches. But could I really pull off my plan? Let me take you back to the beginning, where this all started. Picture a small, bustling office of 7 where laughter and camaraderie once filled the air. I, a part-time fundraiser, shared a cozy office with Jamie, a full-time administrator. At first, things were picture perfect. We exchanged weekend stories, and our banter was lighthearted and genuine. It was the kind of workplace environment many dream of having. But as the months passed, a shift in power dynamics loomed over our pleasant workspace like a storm cloud ready to break. I could feel the change subtly creeping in, like a chill in the air. Despite my part-time status, I began stepping up, filling the gaps, and taking more initiative in fundraising. At first, Jamie seemed indifferent, but beneath her surface lay a seething discontent. The meeting room echoed with tense whispers and hurried shuffles of papers. Jamie gradually began excluding me from key discussions, closing doors to vital information related to my field. It puzzled me how she disregarded both our roles and the organization's needs. Her tactics were sly, ignoring emails, dismissing my budget inputs, and providing ridiculous numbers. I sensed her intent to undermine my growing influence. But little did she know, my patience and perseverance were my hidden weapons, just waiting for the perfect moment. And then, during one pivotal meeting, Jamie's facade cracked. She audaciously proposed inflated fundraising numbers, jaw-droppingly out of touch with reality. My heart raced, the room tense with silence. I calmly interjected, "We're still in discussions about these numbers," hinting at the chaos she orchestrated. Her eyes shot daggers at me, a silent yet potent fury. "That's inappropriate," she hissed under her breath, her voice low enough so the others couldn't hear. I stood my ground, my confidence rising with each heartbeat, knowing this was my chance to expose her feeble attempts. Confronting Jamie openly wasn't an option. Our boss was notoriously disengaged and HR practically non-existent. So, I strategized in silence, planning my escape to an environment where my talents were recognized and appreciated. Little did I know, fate had a different path in store for me. A twist of fate arrived when a colleague needed a medical leave, opening a crucial full-time position. I seized the opportunity to step in temporarily, a decision that would catapult my career and unsettle Jamie's carefully constructed power play. Things were about to get interesting. Covering this new role wasn't just about filling a space. It was my audition for something greater. My dedication and performance didn't go unnoticed, culminating in an offer for the full-time position, complete with the ability to mold the role to include my fundraising passions. The ink barely dry on my new contract, I was ushered into my own office, a space that symbolized newfound authority and potential. Meanwhile, Jamie's shared office now seemed smaller, a constant reminder of her diminishing influence. The power scales had tipped, and she was off balance. I could almost taste the discomfort radiating from Jamie's desk as I settled into my new space. My rise meant more than just a new title. It was a subtle reclaiming of respect. Her forced smiles and overly friendly approaches only added fuel to the quiet storm brewing between us. To maintain professionalism, I adopted the gray rocking method, maintaining neutral interactions, much to Jamie's annoyance. Every best in my emails was a gentle nudge, reminding her of our changed relationship. Her attempts to rekindle camaraderie only met with curt nods and distant smiles. Now, my interactions with Jamie were purely transactional. I engaged with her only when necessary, erasing the once friendly, vibrant exchanges we shared. I could feel her trying to bridge the gap, overperforming friendliness, yet her efforts were futile against my stoic facade. The cherry on top of my newfound role was the opportunity to hire my own assistant. I was meticulous in the selection process, ensuring they were not only capable, but a joy to work with. A stark contrast to Jamie's domineering presence, my assistant was a breath of fresh air. Our office lunch outings became a monthly ritual, symbolizing the new chapter I had stepped into. As we bonded over meals, Jamie's desk sat quietly in the background, untouched by our laughter and stories, an echo of her isolation. Her silent frustration was almost palpable. During one such lunch, as we returned to the office, my assistant casually suggested making these outings a tradition. I agreed with enthusiasm, knowing full well Jamie overheard. Her exclusion was, "Deliberate respect and kindness are earned, not demanded." With each passing day, Jamie's desperation to regain favor was evident. Her overly enthusiastic announcements about minor donations were mystifying, as if grasping at straws to remain relevant. Yet, my responses remained steady and professional, never faltering to her attempts at nostalgia. The meetings now were a blend of tense civility, Jamie's forced cheer clashing with my indifferent professionalism. I could sense her irritation boiling beneath a thin veneer of politeness, as each email reminder I sent often vanished into an abyss of non-replies. My strategic indifference, this gray rocking, was a shield and a strategy. It placed her on unstable ground, a sensation she hadn't anticipated. Her once unshakable confidence seemed to waver with every stoic response I offered, yet I never stooped to sabotage her work. And there it was, my silent victory. This was justice served in the subtlest form, watching Jamie navigate a professional landscape where she no longer held strings over my head. Her discomfort was her own creation, a reflection of her past dismissiveness. One day, amidst the bustling office chatter, I watched Jamie from a distance. Her eyes searched mine, pleading silently for the camaraderie we once shared. But our ships had sailed in different directions, my course steady, and hers caught in an uncertain current. I knew my gray rocking was working. Her attempts at rekindling friendship were fruitless, her gestures met with calm professionalism. I'd never intended to be cruel, but rather to remind her of the respect every colleague deserves. It was a lesson she hadn't expected. As the days rolled into weeks, the office atmosphere shifted. My new role brought fresh energy, changing our dynamics completely. Jamie, once a dominant player, now danced to a tune of her own making, unable to manipulate her way back to the top. Every email, every meeting reinforced this new order. Jamie's struggle became more apparent, a stark contrast to the straightforward, collaborative exchanges with others. Her role in fundraising discussions was now secondary, her influence waning as my presence grew. Reflecting on this journey, I realized the power of perseverance and patience. My approach was never about retaliation, but about claiming my space professionally. Watching Jamie squirm under her own arrogance was an unintended but satisfying byproduct of my rise. The fallout was not explosive, but rather a slow burn that changed everything. Jamie's resistance to change, her clinging to past dynamics, highlighted her vulnerability. Meanwhile, my focus on building a collaborative, positive workspace ushered in a new era. The whispers in the office grew quieter as Jamie's influence dwindled. My new role, though challenging, was fulfilling, allowing me to lead with respect and kindness. Her attempts to regain her old throne only highlighted the futility of holding on to grudges. As the weeks turned to months, the reality of the new office hierarchy settled in. Jamie's demeanor shifted. Her once sharp comments softened, replaced by subdued professionalism. It was clear that her initial hostility had boomeranged back, leaving her in the shadows. But I couldn't let my guard down. Gray rocking remained my tool of choice, a constant reminder that our professional relationship had limits defined by respect. It was a lesson we both learned, albeit through different paths. In the grand scheme of things, Jamie's comeuppance was never about vengeance. It was about reclaiming my space and ensuring respect became the cornerstone of our interactions. Her downfall was a self-inflicted wound, one that mirrored years of disregard. This experience taught me more about the power dynamics in an office than any textbook could. It was a real-world lesson in patience, strategy, and the long game. Jamie had underestimated me, and now she navigated a world where her past actions had consequences. For those watching from the sidelines, it was a tale of quiet revenge, a story where the Grey Rock strategy became a beacon of subtle power plays in a world dominated by louder gestures. But the key takeaway? Never underestimate those who work quietly and diligently. As I look back, I still can't believe what unfolded. Who would have thought a simple approach, a change in dynamics, could shift the entire workplace atmosphere? But here we are, a living testament to the mantra of speaking softly but carrying a big stick. What would you have done in my shoes? Faced with such a challenge, would you have chosen the path less traveled or confronted Jamie head on? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more unbelievable stories just like this.